Oh, hey! How you doing, parceros y parceras? Welcome to Twins. This is Andres Arrieta, and I would like to talk about the fascinating story of the mummy Otzy. Otzy was discovered by the first time in the year 1991. What a great year! By a German couple that was hiking around the area. His clothing were made of animal skin, and he wore a fur cap and a coat. Otzy carried a backpack with a variety of tools, including a copper axle, a bow and arrow, and a flint knife. I wonder how he used all that. Let's see.
More than 5,000 years ago, in the Bronze Age, a man was walking through the Italian Alps. This man, who we know today as Otzy, was a hunter-gatherer of the Neolithic culture who lived in the region that is now known as South Tyrol, on the border between Italy and Austria. Otzy was a man who lived at a transitional time in human history, during the Bronze Age, when human societies were beginning to adopt agricultural practices and establish permanent settlements. Despite this, Otzy and his culture still relied heavily on hunting and gathering food to survive. The region in which he lived, which is now known as South Tyrol, on the border between Italy and Austria, was rich in natural resources, including forests, rivers, and wildlife, which allowed Otzy to live relatively autonomously. In nature, Otzy was a robust and strong man, standing around 1.60 meters tall and weighing around 50 kilograms. He had a distinctive appearance, with dark, wavy hair, a neatly trimmed beard and mustache, and brown eyes. He also had tattoos on various parts of his body, including his back, legs, and ankles. These tattoos were made with charcoal and possibly a needle made of bone, and are thought to have served a ceremonial or medical purpose. Otzy carried with him a series of tools and objects that helped him survive in the wild. These included a copper axe, which was a valuable and expensive tool at the time, a bow and arrows, a flint knife, and a leather bag containing various items such as mushrooms, seeds, and herbs. In addition, he wore clothing made of animal skin, including a goatskin cape and a bearskin hat, which protected him from the cold and other elements of nature. This combination of physical strength, survival skills, and knowledge of nature enabled Otzy to live a relatively long and prosperous life in the Italian Alps, despite the difficulties he faced in his natural environment. His story remains fascinating and relevant to us today, as it helps us better understand our roots as human beings and how we have evolved over time. More than 5,000 years later, in 1991, two hikers found Otzy's mummified body in the Italian Alps. The mummy was very well preserved because it had been trapped in ice for centuries. This allowed scientists to study his body and his belongings in great detail. Through scientific studies, it was discovered that Otzy was around 45 years old when he died and that he had been murdered. Scientists who examined his body found that he had a wound on his back, which is believed to have been caused by a sharp weapon. They also found an arrow in his shoulder, suggesting that he was attacked by someone while traveling through the mountains. However, the exact circumstances of his death remain unknown. Some researchers suggest that he may have been the victim of a ritual murder, while others argue that he may have been killed in a territorial conflict or for personal reasons. Otzy's death and the circumstances surrounding it are one of the most intriguing mysteries in history. Although scientific studies have shed light on Otzy's life and culture, her murder remains an unsolved mystery. Her mummified body was found in a fetal position in a remote area of the Italian Alps, some 3,200 meters above sea level, near the Austrian border. Studies indicate that Otzy died around 5,300 years ago, at the age of around 45. In addition to the mystery of her death, Otzy's mummy has also provided a wealth of information about Bronze Age life and culture. Scientists have studied her body and her belongings in great detail, making it possible to discover such things as her diet, her state of health, and the objects and tools she used in her daily life. From these studies, scientists have learned that Otzy was right-handed, that her diet consisted of foods such as deer meat, lamb, goat and fish, and that she suffered from a number of diseases, including arthritis and dental disease. The scientists also learned a lot about Otzy's life and the culture in which he lived through the objects and tools he carried with him. For example, the copper she used to make her axe was found to have been mined in the Tuscany region, hundreds of miles from where her body was found. This discovery suggests that there was long-distance trade in the Bronze Age, challenging earlier belief that communities at the time were isolated and self-sufficient. In addition, grains of plant pollen were found on Otzy's clothing, indicating that he was traveling through a pine fir forest shortly before his death. Studies also showed that he carried a number of objects and tools with him, including a leather bag, a bow and arrows, a wooden shovel, and a whetstone. These objects and tools indicate that Otzy was a hunter-gatherer who relied heavily on natural resources for survival. Another interesting find was a package of dried mushrooms in his backpack, which it is believed could have been used for medicinal purposes or as food. A bowl of hot coals was also found, suggesting that Otzy was able to start a fire and keep it burning, an important skill in the Bronze Age. The objects and tools found alongside Otzy's mummy have provided a fascinating window into Bronze Age life and culture in the Italian Alps. As well as revealing details about the manufacturing techniques and materials used, they also suggest much greater complexity and interconnectedness than had been previously imagined in the societies of the time. These finds continue to challenge and enrich our understanding of how our ancestors lived and related, and are a valuable source of information for researchers and the general public. The discovery of the origin of the copper used to make Otzy's axe was one of the most intriguing findings of his study. Scientists investigating his body discovered that the copper had been mined in the Tuscany region, more than 400 kilometers from the Italian Alps where his body was found. For archaeologists, this find was a real eye-opener, as it proved that Bronze Age peoples were far more advanced in terms of trade and technology than previously believed. It also shed light on the trade routes used in those ancient times. Scientists also wondered how the copper got from Tuscany to the Alps. One theory is that Bronze Age peoples transported it via a trade route that passed through alpine valleys. The possibility has also been raised that Otzy himself may have been a merchant transporting goods along that same route. This discovery has been a reminder of the complexity of ancient trade networks and has led to new research on how trade was carried out in the Bronze Age. It has also generated a new level of interest and curiosity about the life and culture of the people who lived in Europe more than 5,000 years ago. The fact that Otzy carried an axe made of Tuscan copper with him is a testament to the skill and technological knowledge that Bronze Age peoples possessed back then. This discovery suggests that there was long-distance trade in the Bronze Age, challenging earlier belief that communities at the time were small-scale and self-contained. In addition, studies on Otzy's body have also revealed information about his health and diet. Evidence was found that he suffered from various diseases, including Lyme disease, intestinal parasites, and arteriosclerosis. Plant and animal remains were also found in his stomach, suggesting that his diet consisted of a variety of foods. Otzy's story remains an enigma in many ways, but thanks to scientific studies, we have learned a lot about the life and culture of the people who lived in Europe during the Bronze Age. His mummified body is an invaluable treasure that has allowed us to travel back in time and discover what life was like back then. In addition, Otzy's discoveries have opened up new lines of research on the Bronze Age and have challenged many previous beliefs about the ancient history of Europe. Today, Otzy's body is housed in the Archaeological Museum of South Tyrol in Bolzano, Italy, where it is an object of fascination and study for archaeologists, anthropologists, and the curious from all over the world. Otzy's story is a story of mystery and discovery, reminding us of the richness of human history and the importance of continuing to explore and discover our past. Since Otzy's body was discovered in 1991, it has been the subject of intense study by scientists around the world. Having been naturally mummified by the ice of the Alps, his body has become an invaluable source of information about Bronze Age life and culture. Investigators have conducted a comprehensive analysis of his remains, uncovering startling details about his lifestyle, diet, health, and the circumstances of his death. Otzy's body has been carefully preserved and is housed in the Archaeological Museum of South Tyrol in Bolzano, Italy, where it is a popular attraction for visitors and a constant subject of study for experts. His permanent exhibit includes detailed information about his life and culture, as well as the objects and tools he carried with him. The copper axe, his bow and arrows, his handmade clothing and shoes are just a few of the many fascinating pieces on display alongside his mummified body. Otzy's discovery is a reminder of the value of exploration and research, and has sparked renewed interest in Bronze Age history and culture. His body has allowed scientists to discover new details about the life and death of a person who lived more than 5,000 years ago, helping to shed light on the evolution of humanity and the complexity of ancient European cultures. In short, Otzy's story is a story of mystery and discovery, which reminds us of the importance of continuing to explore and discover our past in order to better understand our present and our future. His legacy and his mummified body are a constant reminder of the richness of human history and the need to continue investigating and learning from our past.
Thanks for joining me in this incredible journey back in time to know the life of the incredible mummy Otzy. This is Andres Arrieta and this is Twin Hoods. See you next time.